Do you know, I was driving along in Tanzania, and I had just finished. I used to run these leadership programs where I would take people up Kilimanjaro to teach them leadership skills and state management skills and all this kind of stuff. And after the Kilimanjaro trip, we went to Zanzibar, and a few of the clients came with us. My mom was meeting us there because my mom does a lot of work in Africa, and in Tanzania specifically, and my wife was there. And so we're in the car, and I'm driving along, and I'm not wearing a shirt because it's Africa. Okay, it's very hot and I'm not wearing a shirt. And I come around the corner and there's a policeman there with his car and he waves me down and he says, excuse me, can I see your driver's license, please? So I show him my driver's license and he goes, in Tanzania, it's against the law to drive the car without your shirt. I've been in Tanzania like several times. I've climbed Kilimanjaro 7 times and I've been in that country to not climb the mountain. I've been there. It is not illegal to drive without your shirt on. Okay, but I know what's going. I don't think it's illegal to drive without your shirt on here. And he goes, yes, it is. This is a Muslim country. And I said, well, at this point in my head, I'm like, no, it's not a Muslim country. Zanzibar is a Muslim area within a larger country that has a non-denominational approach to language and religion. So no, I chose not to say that to him. and he says, well, you're going to have to pay a fine. And I said, fine, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to pay a bribe. That's what he wants. He wants a bribe, and I won't do that. I'm not going to pay him a bribe. So he goes, well, you'll have to come with me. And it turns out that I'm right beside the police station. So we walk over to the police station. Now, many of you will know, or some of you might not, that Tanzania used to be Tanganyika, and it used to be under German control. And think about when it was under German control, right? Like back in those days, you know, Doberman pinchers and that kind of stuff. And so this building was clearly built back then. You could just see it had that Gestapo look about it. And I walk into this Gestapo building and he takes me into a little room and it's a Gestapo room. I walk into the room, it's concrete, and I sit in the chair and there's a desk and there's a guy behind the desk who is wearing a military style uniform. Like he has ribbons and medals. I'm not kidding you. And this is all, by the way, designed to intimidate me. I sit down, and as I sit down in the chair, I realize that the lamp over here is aimed exactly at where my head is in the chair. Still left over from when the Gestapo was there. I can, if I listen really carefully to the walls, I can hear, we have ways of getting the answers from you right now. You know, and this is all by design to freak me out, but I'm just unfreak-outable. So I'm just sitting there. I just made that up. So I'm sitting there having this, you know, conversation. He goes, well, you know, you should be respectful and wear your shirt and blah, blah. I go, well, yeah, I guess so, but I don't really think it's illegal. So I challenge you to write me a ticket and show me how it's illegal. And he's like, well, maybe we could avoid the whole ticket thing. And I go, I think we should avoid the whole ticket thing. And he goes, well, maybe you could make it worth my while to avoid the ticket thing. And I said, no, write me a ticket. And so we have this little banter and conversation. And outside in the car, my mom is in the car with a couple of my clients and my wife. And one of the clients goes, and they're freaking out. Because you know what? If you haven't traveled a lot, and the guy you're traveling with just gets hauled away by the police in a military uniform, you know, you've watched CNN, you know what's coming up, you know, something bad. And so they turn to my mom and they go, Mrs. Edmeades, which she hates, because like she changed her name back after the divorce. So yeah, Mrs. Edmeades drives her crazy. Mrs. Edmeades, are you worried about Eric? And she just sits, she's in the passenger seat of the car and she goes, nope. I'm worried about the cops. And true to form, about 4 minutes later, I walk out, both cops with me. The one cop comes up, opens the door for me. No kidding, opens the door for me. I get in, he closes the door, and then he hands me a hand-drawn map that he's made to get me to the spice market. No fine, no bribe, because I was comfortable to communicate.